Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Today we're unpacking a story that moved from whispers to clarity in the space of a single, carefully chosen statement. Our focus is on two names you've been asking about constantly, Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel. Their paths crossed on the set of Graceful, known internationally as Blood Flowers, where a convincing on-screen partnership sparked a wave of fan curiosity off-screen. For weeks, the question followed them to premieres, interviews, and even casual sightings: is there something more here? Tonight, we trace the full arc, from on-set harmony to a measured confirmation that puts speculation into context and replaces rumor with intention. Let's set the scene. From the earliest episodes of Graceful, viewers noticed a rhythm between Barış and Yağmur that felt unforced. A small glance sustained a second longer than usual, a shared beat of silence that read as trust rather than hesitation, a playfulness in outtakes that looked like two professionals genuinely enjoying the craft they were building together. Crew members, without feeding gossip, quietly praised the work ethic the pair brought to long days. They arrived prepared, hit their marks, and kept the energy light when the schedule tightened. That combination, discipline and ease, translated into chemistry on screen, and the internet did what it does best: it filled in the blanks. Across fan forums and social media, theories multiplied. Some argued the connection was strictly professional, others saw the beginnings of something deeper. Through it all, Barış and Yağmur kept the conversation focused on the work. They promoted episodes, thanked fans for rating spikes, and sidestepped any question that tried to turn a private timeline into public content. It wasn't evasion, it was stewardship. Protecting the set, the story, and the people who worked to make it happen. Then came the pivot. After a run of headlines that leaned more on speculation than substance, Barış chose to speak. The setting was deliberately ordinary: no staged backdrop, no cameras clustered in a ring, just a brief moment with the press that respected everyone's time. He didn't recite a script. He didn't dramatize. He spoke plainly. Their friendship, he said, had deepened. Time together had made him happy. Conversations had become more intentional. When the question turned to marriage, he smiled, the kind of smile that says both yes and not yet, and offered the only answer that holds up under real life: there is a shared idea of the future, but the calendar should be chosen with care. That single, balanced response did a lot of work. It honored what fans had felt without surrendering the couple's right to privacy. It acknowledged the pressure that comes with living under a spotlight, especially when your audience is emotionally invested, while making clear that the relationship would not be conducted by committee. It was an adult answer in a culture that often rewards theatrics. And because it was measured, it carried more weight than something crafted to trend. Let's talk about the why behind that pacing. For any pair living in front of cameras, the line between narrative and life blurs too easily. Barış and Yağmur see that line and have decided to reinforce it. They are not hiding, they are editing. They choose what belongs to the set and what belongs to them. That means fewer grand gestures, fewer clues planted for clicks, and more attention on the spaces where relationships actually grow. Quiet dinners after long days, conversations that don't need to be summarized, stretches of ordinary time in which you can tell whether a future is sustainable or only cinematic. From people who stand a respectful distance from the inner circle, a picture of that ordinary time emerges. The two are said to be deliberate about boundaries. They keep family members and old friends in the loop without inviting an audience into those rooms. They maintain separate routines so the relationship doesn't swallow the rest of life. They share the load when schedules get brutal. One handles logistics when the other is stuck on set, and then they trade. None of that makes a headline, and that is precisely the point. The routine is the reward. The reaction online was immediate and unusually gracious. Yes, there were the inevitable jokes and edits, but most comments centered on relief and respect. "Take your time," wrote one viewer under a clip of the statement. "Just be happy," said another. Hashtags trended, but not because of outrage, because of gratitude. Entertainment outlets mostly met the moment where it lived, acknowledging a shift without inventing theatrics. A few pundits tried to pump the story with speculation about engagement timelines. Those takes fell flat. The couple's tone, not a denial, not a countdown, made such noise feel out of step. Let's revisit what Barış actually answered when marriage came up, because that is where the story can be misunderstood. He did not offer a date or dangle a hint. He didn't convert a personal hope into a public promise. He affirmed the value of what exists and left space for it to mature. In the age of constant broadcast, saying we want the best timing is not a hedge, it's a philosophy. It acknowledges that careers run on production cycles, family obligations don't pause for headlines, and true readiness is not measured in likes. What about the work itself? The series continues, the call sheets still arrive, and professionalism remains the baseline. The pair's off-screen understanding seems to have optimized the on-screen collaboration rather than complicating it. There's a looseness in recent scenes, a confidence that lets a character breathe, that suggests trust has only sharpened the storytelling. When the cameras cut, they remain what they were at the start, colleagues united by a project that asks for stamina and care. This distinction, partners in life, professionals at work, is how you avoid letting one domain cannibalize the other. A note on privacy, the couple's approach does not require secrecy, it requires intention. You may see a photo taken at a restaurant or a brief clip from a set break, but you won't get the full itinerary of their days. You may hear a simple thank you to fans or a nod to supportive families, but not an itemized list of personal milestones. This is not stinginess. It's curation. It protects the relationship from being litigated in public and keeps the audience engaged where engagement makes sense, on the shows, the performances, the craft. As for what comes next, the path is both straightforward and open. In the short term, work, rest, repeat. In the medium term, a decision about how and when to celebrate the relationship in ways that are meaningful to them rather than performative for others. Maybe that looks like a private ceremony when schedules allow, maybe it looks like a quiet announcement after the fact. Or maybe it looks like more of the same steady presence, building a future in increments rather than in headlines. Whatever shape it takes, it will be chosen, not crowdsourced. For fans, there's a role to play here, too. Keep doing what you've been doing at your best, celebrate without prying, support without demanding, and let good news travel at the speed of real life. If you want to help, watch the work. Ratings, streams, and ticket sales are the kind of applause that actually builds a platform for artists to live balanced lives behind the scenes. The rest, the speculation, the countdowns, the timelines crafted from guesses, only adds noise to rooms where silence is often the most generous gift. Before we close, a reminder of how this chapter began and why it matters. The story did not explode with an exclusive. It matured through small choices that respected people and process. A friendship on a set grew deeper. Two adults talked. A statement was made without theatrics. The press got their headline, the fans got clarity, and the couple kept the only thing that makes any of this sustainable: control over their own pace. In an industry that too often confuses volume with value, that is the rarest win. Thank you for watching Turkish Spotlight Secrets and for loving these stories enough to let them unfold. If this kind of thoughtful coverage speaks to you, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and consider joining to support the reporting that takes time and care. We will keep following Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel with the same respect they've shown to each other, focused on what's real, careful with what's private, and ready to celebrate the moments they choose to share.